জয় প্রভুপাদ জয় প্রভুপাদ জয় জগদ্গুরু শ্রীল প্রভুপাদ। নমঃ বিষ্ণুপদায় কৃষ্ণপৃষ্ঠায় ভূতলে শ্রীমতে ভক্তি বেদান্ত স্বামিনিতি নামিনে। নমস্তে সারস্বতী দেবে গৌরবাণী প্রচারিণে নির্বিশেষ শূন্যবাদী পাশ্চাত্য দেশতারিণে। Today we are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 2, Chapter 2, Text 8. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Translation. Others conceive of the personality of Godhead residing within the body in the region of the heart and measuring only 8 inches with 4 hands, carrying a lotus, a wheel of a chariot, a conch shell, and a club respectively. So here Shukadeva Goswami is very clearly describing the form of Paramatma, super soul. So in our Vedic philosophy, this concept of Paramatma is very clearly explained. It is also there in other religion, like, as far as I know, in Christianity also, Holy Spirit or super soul is accepted. So God is everywhere. God is omnipresent. God is omnipresent. But in some religion they don't accept. They think if God is omnipresent, then God becomes polluted. Like recently I was watching a YouTube video. There was a debate between a Muslim boy and a so-called Hindu. But that boy who was representing Hindu community, he was not so expert. So that Muslim boy asked, okay, your God in Sanatana Dharma is all pervading. He is present everywhere. He is omnipresent. So does it mean that he is also within the stool? So that so-called Hindu boy could not answer. He was little perplexed and he could not say anything. He told us, sorry, I cannot answer this question. Because he also thought that if God resides within stool, human stool or any stool, say dog stool, so apparently looks like, what kind of God is this who can stay within stool? Even when we enter into Pujari room, if we evacuate, we take bath, we clean ourselves nicely. So, it is a very dirty situation. Then how God can reside in dirty place? This was his question. So that's why generally majority of the Muslim scholar, they don't accept that God is omnipresent. They say God is omnipresent in one sense, that God is residing in his place, they say in Jannat. But his energy and his knowledge, his consciousness is everywhere. But as person, he is aloof. He is completely far away from his creation. But this is not our Sanatana concept. Annantarastha paramanu chayantarastham govindamadi purusham tamaham bhajami. He is within every atoms. Of course, he is within the universe also, in Virata form, as Mahavishnu, Garbhodakshay Vishnu, Kshirodakshay Vishnu. These are his big forms, huge forms. So he is within universe also. And as Virata Rupa, universal form, the whole planetary systems, all the universes, material universes are actually part of his Virata Rupa, universal form. So he is everywhere, but it is also said, Annantarastha paramanu chayantarastham. He is also within every atom. So logically, if he is within every atom, if he is existing within every atom, he is existing within stool also. It is difficult to discuss, but We have to be open, otherwise, misunderstanding will remain covered. People will, maintain this misunderstanding. So, if he is within every atom, stool is made of atoms. So, andantarastha paramanu, so he is in the stool also. Then how to explain that how he is pure, God is pure, and how he is residing within stool? Answer is that because he is all powerful, he is transcendental, he is all powerful, he is not affected by any dirty condition. In Ishopanishad, God is described as apapa viddham asnavira shuddham. Apapa viddham. He is not polluted by any sinful reaction or sinful activities. That's why he can perform rasa dance or stealing the clothes of the gopis. He is not affected by any sinful activities. God is all good. This is one point. Another point is that he is not polluted by any dirty condition. Just like Prabhupada gave the common example of sunshine. The sunshine is spreading everywhere. It is touching stool, touching urine, touching animals' stool. But does it mean that sunshine becomes polluted? It is never polluted. So if you accept God is all powerful, first of all, you have to understand that true concept of God. God is all powerful. If he is all powerful, then he will not be contaminated by any material condition. But our brain cannot digest, because we think, oh, stool is so dirty, and if anybody enters into stool, he will become polluted. That means we don't have faith that how God is all powerful. In that concept we don't have much. If we don't have much faith, then we will think like this. But if we really believe that God is all powerful, he can enter into dog stool, but still he will remain 100% pure. 100% pure. He will never be polluted. So if God is all powerful and God is apapa viddham, shuddham, shuddham means always pure under any circumstances. And not only that, he can enter into stool and he can purify stool. He can purify stool. If you read the pastimes of Rishabhadeva, I was reading that he was passing stool sometimes. Sometimes Rishabhadeva was passing stool, and when he was passing stool, 10 miles radius surrounding him would become so much aromatic. Where from the aroma comes? From stool. From Rishabhadeva's stool, so much aroma, so much good smell was spreading around minimum 10 miles surrounding him. So, God can purify stool so much so that stool becomes like sandalwood paste. Stool becomes like nectar. It is possible for God. Otherwise, how he is all powerful? If he is all powerful, he can stay within stool without becoming polluted, and he can purify the stool so much so that it turns into nectar. So that is our God. Concept of God in Sanatana Shastra, that God is all powerful, God is transcendental to all material existence, and in our all scriptures, it is not that one scripture says one thing, another scripture says another thing. If you read Bhagavad Gita, Paramatma is described. Upadrashta, Anumanta cha, Bhartra, Bhokta, Maheshwara, Paramatmiti cha pukto, Dehe Asmin Purushapara. Very clearly. Sarvasya chaham, Hridishannivishta, Mattaha, Smitir Gyanam. This is also Paramatma concept. Samaham, Sarvabhuteshu. This is also Paramatma concept. There are so many verses, explaining Paramatma, what is his nature. Say Upadrashta, he is overseer, he is the witness. So whatever we are performing, either as bodily action or in our mind, whatever we are thinking, whatever we are speaking, he is the supreme witness, Paramatma. And he never forgets. whatever action we have done in our life and whatever action we will do in future or whatever action we are doing or whatever we are thinking, whatever we are speaking, everything, every inch is recorded. This is Prabhupada's language. Every inch is recorded. Whatever we are doing, thinking, speaking, everything is recorded. Every inch is recorded. So, Paramatma is witness. And in court, witness is required. Whenever there is some court case, witness is compulsory. Witness is required, isn't it? So, the supreme witness is Super Soul, Paramatma, Upadrashta, Anumanta, permission giver. He gives permission. If he doesn't give permission, you cannot do anything. So, if somebody a murderer wants to commit murder, and if God knows that this man committed murder in his last life. So, one murderer wants to commit murder. So, God knows the person whom this murderer has targeted, he also committed another murder in his last life. So, okay, permitted, you go and kill him. So, murderer can kill him with the permission of Super Soul, with the permission of Super Soul. And when Super Soul knows, no, this man is innocent, he did not commit any sinful activities, or at least he did not commit sin like murder, so he should be saved. He should be saved. So then, suppose some murderer is planning to kill somebody, so Krishna will, as Paramatma, he will make plan. Okay, you don't stay here tonight, you go to Mumbai, you go to some other city with some excuse of some work. Krishna will send him, to other place. So murderer will go and, where is that person whom I wanted to kill? Oh, he is not here. He escaped somehow or other. So, who made him escape? Krishna, as Paramatma, made him escape. So, without his permission, even criminal cannot commit crime. Now, you may ask, then why Krishna is giving permission to criminals? Recently, one man asked me a question. He was, of course, many times you will hear in my class I speak about Muslim because I preach among the Muslims, So he was asking that one small girl was raped. So I asked him why Allah did not stop. God is all powerful, he could stop. Just like a scientist may make some mobile, he can break it. His answer was like this. So I told, no, I can make a mobile and I can break it. This doesn't mean that, okay, I made the child. God is the original maker of all children or ourselves. So God makes a child. That doesn't mean, okay, I made the child, some injustice can be done to the child. No, injustice cannot be done. If some innocent child is there, and if someone wants to do some, blunder to that child, God must stop it. God must stop it. Because God knows this child is innocent, sinless. Then why God is not stopping? They say, yes, the child is sinless. But then why God is not stopping? Even in ordinary, kingdom, if the chief minister or the king or prime minister cannot stop any crime, we blame him. What kind of king is he? What kind of minister is he? In his kingdom, anarchy is going on. Anarchy is going on. So if you say, yes, God knows that child is innocent, then why injustice happened to him? Why? They cannot answer. Our answer is that, yes, God knows this child also in some of his previous life committed similar injustice to somebody, committed similar offense, similar crime to somebody. In some of his previous life, he was human, adult, his consciousness was matured. In that condition, he also committed some murder or he committed something wrong, and God knows that. So when someone is doing similar injustice to him, although God is all powerful to stop it, to save him, but because he did similar thing in his previous lives, that's why God permits. Okay, let him also suffer in this life. So in this way, we have answer. Why, this is common question, why a bad thing happens to good people? Answer is that these good people are good now, but these good people are not good in previous life. In some life, they did something similar mistake. Just like, abortion. Babies are killed in the womb. So, very common question. This child who is in the womb, he is completely sinless as per different religious concept. He is completely sinless. But according to Sanatana Dharma, he is not completely he may not be completely sinless. In some of his previous life, he also aborted some child. In some of his previous life, he did similar offense. He did similar mistake. So when next life, he is conceived in some mother's womb, they do the same things. Now you may say, okay, then what is our fault? If he did some abortion in his last life, so this life, mother is doing the abortion or father is encouraging for abortion. So what is their fault? They are helping God to give punishment to the criminal. Answer is that even giving punishment to the criminal, suppose I know one man who will be hanged by government. So I go to his house and tell, yeah, I heard that you will be hanged by government. So can I hang you now? So do you think government will entertain my proposal? No. It will be considered as another crime and government may hang me also. If I want to hang a criminal who will be actually hanged by government, if I want to hang personally without caring for government's date and time, okay, date and time also, in exact date and time I can try to hang him, but for that will be considered as another offense, another crime, and government can hang me also. Now if I argue with the government that you decided to hang him and I just accelerated your service, so government will not forgive me. So the same argument. Yes, everybody is suffering or enjoying his own karma. But that doesn't mean that I will help God okay, you are supposed to be aborted or you are supposed to be killed. Okay, it is written according to your previous life's karma. In your previous life you did some bad karma. So, okay, let me help God by killing you. But this is even in ordinary law, it is not accepted. Even in ordinary law, you cannot take law in your own hand, isn't it? It is a very common saying, don't take law in your own hand. So those criminals who are committing murder, yes, it is true, they are actually helping God. It is true, but because they are taking the law of God in their own hand, they will also, it is like cyclic order, they will also be punished. In this way, God takes out thorn with the help of another thorn, when some thorn is, thorn entered into some part of your body, sometimes people take another thorn and with the help of one thorn, they take out the other thorn. Similarly, God is also like this. You know the story of Jayadratha. Jayadratha's father cursed that if anybody beheads my son and drops my son's head on ground, the person who cuts my son's head, his head will also fall on the ground. That was the curse given by Jayadratha's father to protect his son. So finally Arjuna, you know the story. Arjuna cut Jayadratha's head. Then Krishna told you, throw it on Jayadratha's father's lap. So Arjuna, by arrow, he threw it on Jayadratha's father's lap. And Jayadratha's father was in meditation. Suddenly he opened his eyes and saw so much blood. Oh, what is this? He immediately threw his own son's head on the ground. Immediately, according to his own word, that whoever drops my son's head on the ground, his head will also be thrown. So Krishna is, removing one thorn with the help of another thorn. So in karma, law of karma, it is one principle. What is that? That, okay, those who are criminal, actually they are helping God, because if a criminal is, a murderer is murdering, actually that man whom he was able to kill, that man already murdered in his previous life. But still, he is also involved in crime, because he is taking the law of God in his own hand and God doesn't accept it. That's why God is applying him, actually using him to pick out another, to pull out one thorn with the help of another thorn, to punish the criminal with the help of criminal. So in this way, we have every explanation in our Sanatana scripture. We have every explanation, and how this Paramatma, Upadrashta Anumanta, permission, he is giving permission, Upadrashta Anumanta cha Bharta, he is the maintainer, he is maintaining us. Prabhupada's famous argument that in communist country, people are entering into church and praying to God, oh God, give us our daily bread. So they are crying for hours, give us our daily bread. That came out. And outside, all the communist political leaders, they are ready with one truck of bread, fresh bread. So when they came out, the group came out from church, for what purpose have you entered into the church? Yes, we prayed for bread. We prayed to God for bread. God, give us our daily bread. Did you get? No. Okay, now pray, my dear communist leaders, my dear political leaders, please give us our daily bread. So they started praying because they are hungry. So they started praying, my dear leaders, political leaders, give us our daily bread. Okay, take as much as you want, take. So they, distributes this bread, fresh bread from their truck. So then, now you prayed to the in the church. Did your God provide bread? No, sir. So now you prayed to us. Did we provide you bread? Yes, yes. So we are more important than God. So Prabhupada said, these people are foolish. They accepted. Yes, you are more important than God. We don't require God. We require all these communist leaders, political leaders. Prabhupada immediately, his natural way to scolding rascals. That you, from where you have got wheats, from where you have got rice, you did not create rice or wheat, any food grains. These are gift of God. Land is gift of God. You cannot produce wheat or anything in stone or in desert. You cannot produce. You need fertile land for producing all these food grains. So who created fertile land? God created. Krishna created fertile land. And that is also in proportion. If there are 1 million people, God knows how much paddy field is needed. If you go by bus or train, you will see so much paddy field. Proportion, who is maintaining? Krishna is maintaining the proportion. Plan-wise, he knows, I have this many millions of people, so I have to create this much paddy field, fertile land. So who created fertile land? Krishna created fertile land. Who is giving rain? Rain. Without rain, you cannot produce food. So Krishna is giving rain. And who is giving ability to produce food? Balang balabatang chaham. I am ability within man. So within man or woman, I am ability. So Krishna is giving ability to produce food. Krishna is giving rainwater. Krishna is giving fertile land. And Krishna is giving seed. Who produced seed? Einstein or Newton? Say paddy seed, rice seed, or wheat seed. Who produced? Einstein or Newton? We know microphone is made by somebody, invented by somebody, isn't it? But rice, dal, sabji, these things are production by God's mercy. This is produced by God. Seed is produced by God. With the same seed reproducing. The microphone you are making, can you make a microphone seed? That I put one in the ground, next day there is one tree growing, producing so many microphone. No. Seed is produced by God. Bijam, Bijaham Sarvabhutanam. Krishna is telling, I am the seed of everything. So he is the seed. So in this way, because their intelligence is shallow, they cannot go deep. They cannot go into deep. They think, oh yes, in the church we prayed for, and God did not give us bread. But these political leaders, they are giving us bread, so they are God. But if you go into deep, that yes, you are depending on for everything. Even for producing bread, you need some bodily strength, mental strength. That also is provided by God. If you ask a dog to produce some bread, they cannot make. They cannot turn, wheat or atta into bread. They cannot turn. So ability to make bread is also given by God. So in this way, if you go to the root, that is called deep thinking. Muni. Muni means you think deeply. When you think deeply, then you understand that we are depending on God. Paramatma is maintaining. Upadrashtanamanta bharta. Bharta means maintainer. Bharta. Bhokta is also enjoyer. But his enjoyment is love only. He doesn't enjoy all these things. He enjoys love, loving relationship. Even if he accepts some food from you, that is mainly for love. If you love him, patrang pushpang phalang toyam jome bhakta. Bhakta means by love, with love. If you lovingly offer him something, he can eat even banana skin. What is called? Peels, banana peels, he can eat. So, banana skin is not his food, but love is his food. So, he enjoys. Bhartra bhokta, bhokta means enjoyer. Bhoktarang jagatupasam sarvaloka maheshwara. So, he enjoys. So, what kind of thing he enjoys? He enjoys only love. He enjoys only love. And we also can, participate in that enjoyment if we, give our heart, give our love, true love, not, duplicate love. And Bhagavatam means all kaitava dharma. Kaitava means duplicate. All these things are removed. So if we really offer our heart, our true love to God, then he can accept our food. If we offer some simple food, he can accept. And not only that, he thinks, Tulasi dolamatrena jalusya chulukena va bikrinite samatmanam bhaktavya bhaktavatsala. If you offer him one glass of water with little tulsi, what is Krishna's feeling? With love, of course. If you offer with love, he thinks, I am purchased by him. I am purchased. Bikrinitam. Bikrinitam means I am sold. I am sold. This devotee has purchased me. So he becomes like slave of a real devotee, true devotee, because he thinks I am purchased. I am sold to this devotee. So in this way, God is feeling, although his water, everything is his creation, but when you offer something with love, God, he, thinks that I am sold. I am purchased by this devotee. So much feeling of gratitude. He is the creator of everything. He can think, this is my water, my tulsi, everything is mine. Glass is made from my energy. Everything is my thing. So there is nothing to feel gratitude. But he feels so much gratitude. And devotees also. Kunti Devi said, if somebody helps you one time, you should help him 10 times. See, the feeling of gratitude we inherit from Vaishnavas or Vaishnavi. They inherit feeling of gratitude from God, from Krishna. So in this way, Upadrashta Anumanta cha Bharta. Bharta is the maintainer. Bhokta, he is enjoyer, he is enjoying love. Bhartra Bhokta Maheshwara, and he is the supreme controller. Without his control, nothing can happen. But he controls in such a nice way. It is very difficult for us to conceive how he is controlling everything. He is controlling, just like I gave the example of how he controls the criminals with the help of criminals. You understand? So in this way, he is Maheshwara, he is controlling all the planets. Everything is under his control. Even a blade of grass cannot move without his sanction. Sometimes people argue, a blade of grass cannot move without God's sanction. So I am drinking wine. It is Krishna's sanction is there. Yes, Krishna's sanction is there, but all sanction doesn't mean that it is good for you. You are suffering, God is giving sanction. When police is beating some criminal, government is giving sanction, no? Without government sanction, police cannot beat anybody, is it not? God's government sanction is there. So all sanction doesn't mean this is good for the criminal. Of course, in one sense it is good, by punishment they will become purified. But if you drink wine, you are responsible and you will suffer, and suffering will purify you. It is a lengthy process, very long process. So although God is controller of everything, but we are part of that God, so we have drop of controlling power. Just like drop of ocean water has drop of salt also. Similarly, we are drop of supreme controller, we are drop of supreme controller, so we have a drop of controlling power. And especially in human life, the drop of controlling power is completely, evolved. So if we misuse that controlling power, of course, there will be punishment. Punishment will be sanctioned by God. So, Upadrashtanamanta cha bhartra bhakta maheshwara paramatma, he is the super soul, he is present everywhere. Even if he is present in the stool, he is not polluted. He is not polluted. Even in ordinary case, you see, if you go to tuberculosis hospital, ordinary people are not allowed to enter into in Agartala, there was a tuberculosis hospital. So, nobody is allowed. But doctors, same doctor every day entering, coming out, he is not affected by tuberculosis because he took some injection or, his body is sterilized. So in this way, he is free from the infection. But ordinary people, they can get infected. So even ordinary doctor is more powerful than ordinary people because ordinary people are not sterilized. But doctors, they somehow or other by taking medicine or by taking some injection, they can enter into tuberculosis hospital and they don't get infected. So if ordinary doctors don't get infected, why God will get infected by stool? So it's common sense. So in this way, the Bhagavad is science of God. We have to understand God from Bhagavatam. Bhagavatam will tell you exactly. But there are many, Prabhupada say these are like small dictionaries. Some information are there, some information are not there. That God is all pervading. Many religions, especially in Muslim as far as I know, they don't accept this. They accept, yes, God is staying in one place. From that one place, God is controlling everything. But our concept is that, yes, that is also true. What is that? Golaka eva nivasatti akhilatma bhuto. He is staying in Golaka, but at the same time, he is expanded. What is called kon me. There is a Hindi saying also. God is there in every corner of his creation. And he is there how? With conch, shell, with lotus, with club, and with chakra, disc. And his size is also mentioned, from this finger to this finger. So, Prabhupada said approximately 8 inches. 8 inches, from this finger to this finger. Isn't it? If I understood properly. Index finger, no? Ring finger. Ring finger means the longest one? This one, huh? Okay, so 8 inches. 8 inches, okay? So everything is explained very clearly. There is no ambiguity, there is no obscureness. Everything is explained very clearly. That's why it is science. Science of God as Paramatma. He is all-pervading, he is impartial. So everything is explained in Bhagavad Gita, in Brahma Samhita, in Srimad Bhagavatam. So we should understand the science of God from this Srimad Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita like this. Thank you very much. Time is a little more, 10 minutes are there. So if you have any comment or question, you can.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Prajay, as mentioned in Bhagavad Gita that Hridayasya Arjuna Tishtati, Ishvara.
Hridayasya Arjuna Tishtati.
Then 8 inches is, our heart is like shorter than 8 inches, right?
Now, see, he is not staying in material body. Paramatma is in spiritual body. Just to give us an idea, I think, these 8 inches are explained by Prabhupada. Prabhupada made everything like baby food to give some idea. But actually, his body is spiritual. Paramatma's body is not material. 8 inches you can measure material thing. Material thing you can measure 8 inches. But I don't think that you can measure Paramatma in that way, because his body is Satchidananda. Satchidananda. Even your soul, I mean my existence, soul, if you divide the tip of your hair into 10,000 part, one part is like the size of your existence, isn't it? So Paramatma is also in spiritual form, and with material measurement you can never measure him. But to give some idea that he is there within your heart, approximately very small size, approximately 8 inches. It is not said exactly 8 inches. In the purport written, more or less 8 inches. But you have to always think that it is in spiritual body, and the measurement should be done from spiritual platform. Material measurement cannot be applicable to him. Okay?
Thank you.
But why Prabhupada is giving all these examples? Because we cannot conceive spiritual things. So Prabhupada is so kind, just to give some, so that we can meditate, give some idea. He is using material analogy also. But actually spiritual things are spiritual. This can never be measured with material measurement. Okay. Any other comment or question?
Hare Krishna Prabhu, Dandavat Pranam.
Dandavat.
Prabhu, God is omnipotent, omnipresent,
Mm.
and omniscient.
Mm.
Each and every species is a part and parcel of the Lord.
Each and every species.
Is
Yeah.
part and part of Lord.
Ah.
Naturally, one is having more or less attributes.
Naturally?
On par, more attributes on par with God.
Yes.
So he is the controller and he is the main wealth. That is Sarvadipati, we say.
Mm.
For each and everything, he is the proprietor of that.
Okay.
So if that is the case, why the question of fast karma arises when everything is at the discretion? Not even a grass can move without the will of the Lord.
This point I already explained.
That of course, that grass point you already explained.
Mm.
But what way we are responsible for the sufferings?
Where you are suffering, that is a result of our karma.
No, that karma, because that is also even the Lord's discretion only we are doing it. Even the past karma, present karma, say without the Lord's will we cannot move each and everything.
Okay.
So that is the case. Everything is responsible for the God now.
Yeah, permission.
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 Yeah.
Government gives permission that you beat the criminal. So who gave permission? Who gave permission? Government gave permission. So what is wrong? Government gave permission that you beat this murderer. That in Mayapur there was a murder, that within last 1 year or 2 years, I forgot. There was a murder in Mayapur. So ultimately, police, they captured two murderers. They captured, and they beat only 1 hour. 1 hour beating. You understand? And they are telling, yes, we committed the murder. 1 hour it took to bring out the word. So who gave permission? I think this is what is called that CID or something, this group, CBI or something. I mean, this case was handed over to CBI, and they captured to suspected person, suspected murderer, and they started beating. After beating 1 hour, they agreed. They say, yes, we committed the murder. So who gave permission to the CIA to beat suspected criminals? Only suspected. Government gave permission. Yes, you can beat suspected to bring out the word from their mouth. You understand? Generally they don't agree. But beating is such a medicine, they agree. You understand? They say that yes, we are the murderer. So anyway, who gave permission? Government gave permission. So Krishna is our supreme government. Without Krishna's permission, and you have your minute freedom. We are drop of the ocean of freedom. Krishna is ocean of freedom. Just like Prabhupada gave the example that if you take 1 drop of water from ocean, That is salty. One drop of salt is there in a drop of water taken from ocean. One drop of salt is there. So this freedom is like salt. Krishna has ocean of freedom. We are drop of that ocean. So we have a drop of freedom also. It is coming like salt. Drop of freedom. And if we misuse our freedom and blame Krishna, Krishna will not tolerate. In Bengali there is a saying, Ati Bhakti Chorer Lakhan. If you are too much devotional, yes, I am smoking ganja by Krishna's will. Too much devotional is symptom of thief. Ati Bhakti Chorer Lakhan. And that is not accepted by Vaishnava philosophy. That is not accepted by Vaishnava philosophy. If you smoke ganja, you are responsible. You cannot say, without the blessings of God, even a blade of grass cannot move. So my hand is moving by blessings of God. Yes, fact. But responsibility goes to you. God's sanction is there, but responsibility goes to you. Am I clear? Not clear. Okay. Then start drinking, start smoking marijuana. Krishna will be responsible, not you. Krishna will be responsible if you smoke marijuana, ganja, bom. So Krishna will be responsible, not you. Do you accept this philosophy from heart? No, even ordinary, if you go to ordinary court, if the murderer says, without the will of God, a blade of grass cannot move. So I committed the murder with the sanction of God. So my dear court judge, justice, please don't give me any punishment. If you can capture Krishna, give him punishment. Even ordinary judge will not accept this argument, is it not? Ordinary judge will not accept this argument. So how can you hope that Krishna will tolerate your misdeeds? No. You have to accept what is written in the Shastra. It is not that, how come it is without his sanction. Yes, his sanction is there, but responsibility is with you. You have to accept that. Otherwise, you will be misguided, you will suffer. That's why all the criminals, they have that faith sometimes. Yes, I am not responsible. That's why they smoke, they commit murder. You understand? Okay. Mataji.
I was in that respect of like the government, you were talking about abortion. So in the Western countries, it's legal for, I don't know how long, for a long time. So, but now the government is sanctioning illegal.
Yeah, good point. But sometimes man-made law may differ from God-made law. So God-made law doesn't permit this, but man-made law permits. So many things are permitted by government in different countries, isn't it? But God-made law may not permit. We have to abide by God-made law, not to man-made law. Am I clear? We have to follow law given by God.
How to address, their...
Difficult.
Yeah, it's very difficult.
By preaching and preaching, if someday some Vaishnava becomes president or prime minister, they may implement. And Prabhupada said that one day they will come, the Vaishnava will be victorious in election. In election, when there will be so many majority of Vaishnavas, Vaishnava will be the high court judge, Vaishnava will be prime minister, president of a country. They will come within 10,000 years. So that time they will implement all this law given in Bhagavatam. Okay?
Yes, because, the president and all the people in the government are elected by the people, and the people want it. So then if they don't...
because they're depending on election. They're depending on election. If even in India, if some political leader declares, if I become victorious, I will stop all bidi factory or cigarette factory, he will fail. He will fail in the election. Is it not? So they are servant of election. They are servant of election. They are not servant of truth. They are servant of election. And that's why they are doing all nonsense, supporting all nonsense. Fact.
Thank you, Prabhuji, for nice class. Prabhuji, we have heard that after Anartha Nivriti, Nishtha comes, as per the ladder of Rupa Goswami. So, what does it mean, Nishtha? So, would you please explain in brief?
Adhu Shraddha Tata Sadhu Sangha. It is not today's topic. Adhu Shraddha Tata Sadhu Sangha Tata Anartha Nivriti Tata Nishtha. Nishtha is actually sincerity. Sincerity. Anartha Nivriti means stopping bad habit. When you are able to stop bad habit, then sincerity increases in devotional life. So that is called Nishtha. Nishtha is Bengali word. Sanskrit and Bengali. Common. Nishtha. Nishtha means sincere. Okay. Any other point? Okay, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Thank you
Hare
for the
Krishna.
class. You had mentioned before about, you gave the example of children. So why do bad things even happen to children when they are innocent? And we can say that, yes, there was probably some karma there that they were paying off, so to say, right? But we find a lot of times, and there are cases of this, where children who were, say, for instance, abused in their childhood, if they do not somehow forgive or heal or release that bad thing that happened to them, that later on in their lives, they will do that same thing to somebody else, whether it's a junior or a child, or anybody. So how do these people, how do they learn to find forgiveness and move on? Because if they don't, it seems as though the karma will continue after generation. So I was wondering if you had a comment
I
on
understand. Actually, God will see how much karma he did, because karma also, there is varieties of karma. All karmas are not similar. So God knows what kind of karma this girl did. So accordingly, she got punishment. But that doesn't mean that we will take that responsibility. That is God's responsibility. Let God think and God decide how he will handle all these things. But our responsibility is all the time to help, just like to give some counseling. This is our responsibility. But God's responsibility, is with God. We don't worry about this. We don't think about this. Let God decide how he will handle. But from our side, we should always have some, mood of positive help. We will try to do something good. Not that, because this girl was bad in last life, we don't know why this girl is getting punishment. That God knows exactly. There are varieties of karma. So God knows exactly what kind of punishment. Even counseling is part of, karma. If her karma is good, she will get some good counseling. And that is also with God's permission. That is also part of God's plan. It is not outside God's plan. When some girl is getting counseling, that means God is, helping. Hare Krishna. Okay, so can I stop here? Okay, thank you very much. Grantharaj Srimad Bhagavatam ki, Samavata Vaishnava Bhakta Vrinda ki, Nitai Gaur Pramanandi.